subcategory, not like a new bank account, but a new subcategory, that if someone wanted to donate money for the Telford Hotel acquisition, then that would be dedicated funds in that subcategory, so to speak. And those funds would only be used for acquiring the Telford. And so this would be a way where we would not have to create the nonprofit, because that's a lot of work, and you don't get your tax exempt status sometimes for 5 to 6 months. But if we do a resolution explaining the public purpose behind the effort and the acquisition and why it's important and why it serves a public good, then that can be used by individuals who want to make contributions to potentially deduct their contribution. And I say just, potentially, because they should always contact a tax advisor. But the IRS does allow for contributions made to a town for a valid public purpose to be deductible. So that is basically what this resolution is about. It talks about a lot of stuff here about the public purpose, but then it goes into how gifts are accepted. When any contribution is accepted, a letter must be provided acknowledging that contribution. And that's the part that I was still, fumbling with over here, the finished exhibit, because I want to attach that as an exhibit. That would be the donor acknowledgement. The authorized officer, basically the person who is designated as the primary authorized officer for the day-to-day administration of the fund, will be the town manager. And so that includes, that's the person who accepts contributions and issues the donor acknowledgements. The mayor, in the absence of the town manager, would be able to accept contributions. Now, this part, I looked at changing. So if you're at section 5C, I have some alternate language there that I was thinking about doing. Because what it says there is that no disbursements from the fund for purposes, well, I guess that was no, that's fine. That's fine. Where was it? Maybe I didn't put it in here. But I wanted to put something in here that authorized the town manager to basically administer the fund the way that anything else is administered, meaning if it's less than $2,500, then town manager can go ahead and make that expenditure. If it was more than $2,500, then it would have to come to the town council. And then the town manager would report on the status of the fund and the balance at least quarterly. Then it talks about how it's deposited. It's still subject to the annual independent audit. Any interest and investment earnings accrued belong to the fund. Maintaining a complete record, and that was the other thing I was working on, is a form for the procedures for how to record the contributions. And disposition of funds. So let's say there's a decision made that the town is not going to acquire the Telford. And we have this money, we still have money sitting here. So then what will happen is the donors will need to be contacted, and they will be given the option of having their money refunded on a pro rata basis. Pro rata because let's say we've raised $100,000 and we spent $30,000, then everybody's going to get back 70% of what they contributed. If for some reason they don't respond, or they, there's still money there, then let me make sure we calculate for running. See what I can remember up here. Then the town council shall transfer that money to a charitable public purpose consistent with the donor's original intent. So basically, something that has to do with historical preservation.
One thing I don't see here, we need to designate where it can be in the interest bearing and non-interest bearing account. Needs to be in here somewhere.
Our regular account, is that interest bearing?
It's under section
General,
6.
general fund is, but it's
not.
but
It's
see,
like
if
a
it's
fraction
something like
of
this, you're
1%.
probably putting it into.
So then we probably,
Section 6C, I think, is interest bearing, interest or investment
What,
earnings.
six?
yeah, so it would go into the general fund account, we don't
Yeah,
wanna
yeah,
set up a
yeah.
separate account. But maybe the part about the interest,
So the other thing I've seen on this is it had to be specified in the document.
okay, whether it's interest bearing.
So does that
Well-
mean that only Mr. Gardner and they determine what money we raise, where it's spent at, dealing with the Telford?
Well,
Because this is the issue that the board has. They want some type of, if we sit here and we raise, $1.5 million, we don't have a say-so in where it goes and where it's spent, dealing with the Telford. So that just this leaves the whole committee out of everything dealing with the Telford, the fundraising and all of this altogether.
well, that's something that, I mean, it's a draft.
Only in here, the only thing I see in here is money is raised for the acquisition. I don't see anything else, not spending money for anything other than acquisition.
Which is the problem, because we're trying to raise money to get, if the acquisition includes getting the appraisal, all of that would be the acquisition, correct?
Y'all need to take a step back, because you're gonna need funds to raise funds. You will be spending money in the process of
Well,
fundraising, and that's not really.
we have people who are already trying to donate, but the thing was, we had nowhere for them to donate to.
Well, my point is that we don't address fundraising, like, funds will need to be expended in the efforts of fundraising. That needs
So
to
what do
be-
you,
Well, there could always be seed money.
okay,
If you have some people who wanna contribute right away, then that's kind of your seed money. That helps you then fund
Right.
other funds.
but how does that fit in with getting, let me see. In the package that I passed out originally,
Mhm.
when it was saying the donations and sponsorship levels for like naming rights in certain rooms of the Telford. One of the ideas that we have had that came before us was during the folk festival, we're doing a tour of the Telford to get investors and things involved in it. How does that play? Basically, what does that mean as far as the committee is concerned? Because that's where I'm having the issue at, which is why we wanted to form the nonprofit as a partnership with the town.
For accounting and everything else, this is a much better way than going through the 501c.
Okay, but the thing is,
Again,
with each, we're trying to safeguard what we're trying to do, because at any point in time, all of this can change. A new regime can just cancel out every effort that we've done and say, hey, the heck with it, we're done with it, we're gonna sell the Telford, or whatever, to a private person. How does that protect the people who are trying to preserve the
Keep selling
Telford?
something you don't have.
Yeah,
It
no.
actually seems like it
The
makes
point
it
is,
better.
I'm saying,
Better
if we
financially.
raise this money, that we are able to acquire the Telford and to get it,
When that happens, nothing, that Telford's gonna have to operate on its own. With some type of.
I got that, that was the whole,
So this would be, the idea would be, you start here, because you don't have this, there's a lot of work involved, and like I said, it's gonna take months before you get like your 501c3. And so if you're looking to get started right away,
Okay, I
passes,
get that, but
start right
that
away.
does not cancel out this though, right?
Down the road. Now, I would suggest you start here, do the due diligence work. Okay, so that would be, and we can make sure that it's down here in 7B, but we can make sure that it's maybe more prominent, that talks about due diligence, appraisals, title work, environmental assessments, and related professional fees. And if there is some type of purchase, you know, like if there is an actual purchase, then you would maybe be interested in doing like a nonprofit or something of that nature, when it's something more permanent. Because what you're doing is basically standing up an entirely new organization, and we're still so much at the very beginning of this process to create an entire new organization.
So for us to do fundraisers, I mean, we have to come back and get approval from the council to do the things that we have in our list that we would like to do?
Not necessarily, so this is just.
See, I'm trying to figure out what's the scope of what we're gonna be able to do as the Friends of the Telford,
This is a draft, cause I needed to put something in front of you.
right?
I needed to put in somebody who was gonna be the administrator, just so
I don't
you
have
know
a
we
problem
need to
with
talk
that.
about. No,
I
but,
mean-
so, if there's something you want to add, then you talk about what you wanna add.
Yeah, this is the first shot at it, and just like the interest and non-interest is something that,
Because this is the thing, dealing with the Telford Historical Grant, there are a lot of grants that we can get as a nonprofit that the city can apply for. Which is why,
if it's involved with historical.
no, but it's, I mean, it's something, I've looked up grants and it's some that municipalities cannot apply for, but 501c3s can. And it's like,
But you're not a
We're-
501c3, though.
no, baby, that's
Yeah,
what
that's
this is what the workshop is about.
Okay, that's.
We wanted the permission to go ahead and form one, not, I mean, this is all fine as long as, I don't know, it just need to be like a little more,
So are you saying,
I don't mind about the money, cause I never wanna be over money, period.
so
I don't have, it's just that I wanna make sure that everybody's interest is duly noted and, you know, the concerns of the committee is addressed. Because, you know, from sitting in the meetings, I know you've heard like the different concerns, they don't wanna do all this legwork and have no say-so with anything that's going on. I don't know.
so you're saying if the council change
They can change everything, they
all
can,
people,
yeah, if they
So,
change, even
what
if
I'm
they
saying
change,
is,
like,
if
if
the,
it's,
wait a minute, what I'm saying is the council change, but what I'm looking at, you have your own group of people.
then it won't matter if the council change, and the council is over everything.
Town council change.
Listen, you know, we've had good
They're not
council,
over everybody.
We have a fiduciary responsibility.
So Nicole,
So,
you're gonna use fundraising to pay for like surveys and whatever, right? That's
well,
what
some
you're-
of it, we're.
but
With
my
some of the
question
people
is,
that I've spoken with, like this one guy that I've been talking to about doing the appraisal. Instead of us having to fork out these $4,000, if it was with, not so much as with the town, cause in their mind, they figure the town has money to pay for this. In reality, the town doesn't want to be financially obligated for any of it.
what I'm trying to say though, if the contributions, right? Or donation or whatever you wanna call it, if we use that money to pay for the survey or whatever, then if this deal fails, where are we
But
gonna
what
get
if
the
it
money
doesn't?
back to pay
But
back
what if
the
it
donors?
doesn't fail and I raise $1.5
We
million?
don't-
Yeah.
We wouldn't pay back the donors We wouldn't reimburse the donor for money that was spent, we'd only give them back money that's unspent.
Unspent, okay.
So if we
That's
get
what I want to
inspections
know.
and they
Because the
don't-
way you said it at first, it was almost like, whatever, like if I donated 10,000 and the deal
So
failed.
if you donated 10,000 and we spent 3,000, then you're gonna get 7,000 back.
Okay, that's what I want to
Not be
understand, okay.
taking conditional donations. Somebody
Yeah,
can't
because-
say, here's 10 grand, name the ballroom after me.
Mhm.
And if you don't, give me back my 10,000, cause that would
Right.
Right.
that'll be a disaster.
Yeah,
So
but
donors-
one of the whereas it already says in here,
So,
accept
things like this. Will we still be able to do this?
What?
What is
The
this?
sponsorship and naming opportunities, because it goes to certain levels of what you donate and what you get for each donation. See,
I don't see how why we can't do that.
and then if we
What's the
do
minimum
acquire the
level?
Telford,
You
what is
agree?
gonna safeguard that the hard work doesn't come, and if everybody is not up here, or the majority that votes yeah today is changed in the next couple of elections, and the new council will say, oh, we don't want this.
That's politics.
Yeah, but I mean,
You know what I mean?
how does that safeguard?
What's the numbers you got on that right there? Cause you don't know,
Friends of the Telford, up to $4,999. The preservation patron is from $5,000 to $24,999. The suite and room sponsor, $25,000 to $999,000. The architectural benefactor, $100,000 to $499,000. The heritage founder is $500,000 and above. And the corporations that we are trying to go at, this is very feasible for them. This is something that can happen. It was just, a couple of days ago, I had a conversation with someone about a menu at the new restaurant in Jasper. Just to put your business cards on a menu, they raised over $40,000. So it's not like this stuff is so far out of reach, but I don't wanna sit here and raise $2 million and then the town say, oh, well, we're not gonna keep this. We're gonna get rid of it, whatever.
So if we, to do something like that, we would need to establish a very clear policy about
Right.
what you get for it, you know, that's your name on it, but you don't own it, you don't have exclusive use of
No,
it,
I
you know,
mean,
like,
that
so
was
we
in-
would have to have, I mean, it's possible. There, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing that, we would just have to have a very clear policy about it.
It's in those original packets that I passed out. All of that was already,
Well, what I'm saying is the town council would have to officially.
and then it was like, I guess more or less we wanted to do like a partnership with the town where everybody has, because the original, in the articles that I had, it was the committee members, and then you have 2 people from the town representing on the 7-member board. Everybody has voting rights. And then as a
Wait, let's back up. 2 members, 2 council members?
and they don't have to be council members.
2 people from the town?
Yeah, they could have been Mr. Gardner, Shays, and Ezekiel, or
So
whoever.
2 people employed by the town or affiliated, like actually, cause the town is 700 some odd people, I'm trying to figure out, the town, you're
Okay,
talking about
it was
employees.
to whoever the council appointed to represent the town,
Okay,
was the one, would make up that board. It would be 2 people from the town representative, let me put it like that.
2
And that
people
did-
appointed by the town council.
Well, it's Mr. Gardner, it could be Mr. Gardner and Shay, cause she's the bookkeeper and he's the town
Right.
manager, so, that puts them directly involved in whatever. Now, like even going through the articles, if the town, and just say the town dissolves, if something happens and they go back through all that foolishness again. The town dissolves, then where does that leave with that? That means that goes back, will go to the county?
Yeah.
Yeah, but how could
And
you
that's
let
what we don't want, that's what we don't want, we want
I
to.
mean, we ain't gonna let it dissolve either.
Well, I know that, Tony, but I'm just
But it would
safeguarding, cause we
be, if
never
it's a
thought it
town
would be.
asset, if it's a town asset, it would
But
go
if
to
it's
the
a
county.
joint asset,
then probably the town portion of that joint asset would then be with the county.
Okay.
If you're not willing to
Let me
bet on
read
the
what I
success
have.
of the town, then you're not willing to bet on the success of the Telford. Because if the town can't move forward and succeed, the Telford's most certainly won't. This is a great way to keep it clean, get a good look at it, and if it makes sense at that point.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what I had up here originally, okay, the specific purpose, operational constraints, the dissolution. Upon dissolution of the corporation, all remaining assets shall be distributed to the municipality of the town of White Springs. Conversely, in the event of dissolution or legal abolishment of the municipality, all assets or titles held by the corporation that were gained through joint effort or municipal grant shall remain the property of the corporation to be used exclusively for its exempt charitable purposes. In the bylaws, it stated that the composition of the board shall consist of 7 voting directors. 5 shall be elected by the board, and 2 are municipal seats. 2 directors shall be appointed by the town council. Those directors have full voting rights. Then it had about the insurance and the staff utilization, the open meetings, the notice, the records, is, everything is 119, would be followed under the 119. Then it would say, okay, I'll just read it. It has a legal package that includes the articles of incorporation and the bylaws designed for total transparency to ensure the town maintains oversight. Our bylaws specifically reserve 2 voting seats on our board of directors for town council appointees. Furthermore, we are committed to operating fully under the Florida Sunshine Law and Public Records Act. We aren't just a separate group, we are a partner that answers to the public. The centerpiece of our proposal is a joint ownership model. This structure acts as permanent safety lock for the property, ensuring that neither party can unilaterally sell or alter this historic landmark without the other's consent. We know liability is a concern, which is why our MOU requires the Friends to purchase a separate special event insurance for all fundraisers, naming the town as an additional insured. This provides a private layer of protection and guards the town's general fund and sovereign immunity. Then it was talking about the MOUs, but then, in it, I went through a whole bunch of different types of them, of the legal status and the governance, the use of the resources, financial responsibility. I have no problem with the town overseeing the money itself, but at the same time, we want to be actively involved in the operations of the Telford. The town does not, not gonna be able to do the day-to-day operation. But the committee itself can have.
Then take this as a separate thing, then don't even involve the town at all, just do it yourself. I mean, like, honestly, you could have that and set it up yourself, it's all your game, your money, don't include the town.
But the whole point is for it to be a town landmark.
But it doesn't, if the town dissolves, then the town is not in the picture
That's in the
anyway.
case, but we're not trying to dissolve the town. It says in the event of.
Yeah.
But some kind of way, it should be a way to work it out where both parties will be pleased with whatever we decide.
But you could do that yourself, I mean, you could.
We don't wanna do it ourselves, we wanna do this with the town,
Yeah.
for the people of this town, who has a history and an attachment to that building.
You still would, but otherwise, just let the, if
But
you.
the thing is, even with grants,
Mhm.
a 501c3 can apply for certain grants, the town cannot. The town can apply for certain grants that the 501c3 cannot.
Do the town have to be involved?
I don't think so,
You don't have to be,
No.
but that's
not at all,
the
no.
ideal.
If it can't grow legs on its own, it's not gonna stand with or without the town. You know,
So why can't you just
Yeah.
separate the town and just do it?
yeah, just do it yourself, start your thing up, get your donors, and then it's your show, and then you don't have to have the town get involved in it, and.
If you
You
heard about
But the
the.
town would
Yeah.
want the property if it flourishes, right? It
No,
is
no,
beneficial,
no.
it would be beneficial for the town
No.
to have this property.
You got to pay taxes anyway.
No, you don't. It's tax exempt.
Okay, then, so why,
Yeah.
why do they want it? Why do the town want it?
Yeah, there's no
What does
reason
the
for
town
it.
have going for itself right now at this moment? One thing that the town has going?
Not till right now.
Nothing, but there's gonna be a albatross hanging over our
I tell
head.
you what.
Yeah, just run it on your own, and that way, then you don't have to fight with the town and stuff. and
It's
you-
not a fight with the town,
Yeah.
it is the whole purpose of trying to develop something for this town. Everybody sits and says how they want this town to grow, how we need tourism, how we need this, how we need that. Why can't this be the thing that brings in money and people in for this town?
You
Yeah,
gotta get it
go
off the
for it.
ground first.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
can you get it up?
we got the women's center, we already own that, we could do something
Okay.
with that, you know.
Is it open?
Well, we, maybe if we knock that target down, we can look at other ones, but that already belongs to the town,
Mhm.
you know.
And they had to acquire that also. It
But-
wasn't like it was always part of the town.
It is part of the town, so we can fix that up first, but this
It was
thing,
not always part
is-
of the town,
it is now, Mike,
but they
right?
acquired it.
Yeah,
Just as they want to do with the spring house and the, tourism center, what is the difference?
yeah, we already got stuff, we already got those projects.
The difference in that, they're already under government control.
Yeah.
You gotta worry about fundraising, buying.
You gotta have the repairs done, that the government's not gonna do, cause they haven't done it in these 3
Once
years.
you get
since they
that,
started.
you can get grants and foundations and other things.
Same thing with the Telford though.
But if you don't own it, you can't.
Okay,
I'm not
we
against.
have a meeting on Monday, and I will ask the board what would be their pleasure, because I only hear a handful of people with the negativity and not wanting to do, but more people in the community, especially people who are natives here,
Mhm.
who wants the town to acquire this.
Well,
Then why aren't they here to just
Yeah.
support that?
Yeah, they don't come to these meetings.
They don't have to, they watch the meetings.
No, no,
Yeah.
yes, they do, because we need to see
Of all the things I've seen about,
who,
Yeah,
of all the things I've seen about Telford, this seems to be the best beginning start I've seen yet. I mean, I know.
I'm not saying that it's
and I
not, I'm
appreciate all
just
you've done.
asking about
You've done a great
future,
job.
the
I think-
future with that, as well as what it's gonna mean for the board. Because the town does not wanna contribute any money. You got,
no, because we don't have any.
yeah.
I'm just saying, it's been made perfectly clear that the town does not want to spend any money on this.
And we have other things, I ain't say more important, we got more pressing matters.
No, you got more important things, we honestly do.
We got some water and sewer projects coming
Yeah.
every year.
Mhm.
We got-
Okay, I understand that too, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Could you share the business plan? Who is the demographic that you're targeting? The restaurant
that has
business,
all been provided at meetings prior to this one.
I haven't seen.
Y'all just
I
haven't.
haven't seen anything.
Tanya, I was
There's
just
nothing
everybody-
on the
Wrong.
It's
website.
not public.
They weren't here,
But this
y'all
is-
was,
but
this
this
is your
is-
first meeting.
But
This is like your
Listen.
third,
This is a
Your
workshop.
I was at
That
one
was,
of the
the
other ones.
workshop was scheduled to bring people up to speed.
right?
So let's try to,
But
bring
I'm just
people up
saying,
to speed.
if you haven't been here, then you can't say what was been provided and what has not been provided.
Where
Because
has
from-
it been provided, ma'am?
Here, in the meeting, we have a Telford meeting the fourth Monday of every month, and all of these things have been provided.
I didn't see anything to that effect on the website.
Well, you did not look because it's been posted, every meeting have been posted.
Nikki, as you may be aware, I created a webpage on historicwhitesprings.com about the Telford.
Mhm.
If you could email me a PDF of your business plan that you would like to share on that, I can put it there.
That'd be awesome.
Everybody
Yeah.
could get access to it.
Okay,
Would that be
that's no
a
problem.
reasonable
Yeah.
solution to all this? That way it doesn't have to be on the town website, but it's Historic White Springs.
That is no problem.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's been one made available, so.
If you take this project on, and you restore it, and you get it up and running, all the people who have love for it, it will be.
I mean, I know there's a lot of people want it, but it's just an undertaking that needs a whole lot of
Yeah.
money. And to me,
Mhm.
this may be the way to go, and it may not be, but we're just glancing at it, and within the last 15 minutes, there's some good ideas in here.
Yeah, I think so, I do, yeah.
So we could add, additional language, probably, under number 2, we can renumber it after that, but this would be authorized uses of fund assets. And that would be everything from due diligence costs, acquisition costs, immediate post-acquisition stabilization costs, so like emergency waterproofing or securing, insuring the property. And it would also cover fundraising and fund administration costs, so the cost of doing an event to fundraise, you could use this fund to fund fundraising events. And then such other costs directly related to the acquisition, preservation, or stabilization of the Telford Hotel as the town council may authorize. So if it doesn't fit into those categories, but it serves a greater purpose, then town council can authorize it.
Okay.
Sounds like it covers everything.
For the naming rights,
Stabilization, acquisition, that sounds like it covers.
Okay.
The gamut, yeah, fundraising,
With those
preservation
things, I
is a
have
part
no
of,
issue.
preservation is part of it, stabilization, acquisition, insurance.
And there may be some things you've got, and I don't know other things in your thing I've been asking for several months, the plan,
Business fund?
No, I gave you the
Business
business, I gave you the business
I
plan.
know it, but
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think that and this could be a lot incorporated in together to do what you're trying to do. But like I said, to me, this is a good start.
Okay.
and we can add some stuff in here about the naming rights.
Yeah.
And basically it would
So the
be that
resolution can be amended as we go.
resolutions get amended.
All
right, I'm fine with it. We can go to the meeting now, just go ahead and do it so I can start raising money.
Let me. I'm gonna send you these 2 things. The other thing,
Send it
for, on section 6A, that's where, you were asking, all contributions received into the fund shall be deposited into a designated account or accounting sub-account maintained separately from the town's general operating funds. So, do you still wanna, maybe we change this to where deposited into a designated accounting sub-account, maintained?
So maintain sub-account that maintain for this
Okay.
purpose, yeah.
So,
Some words of that effect or something, yeah.
okay, into a designated, since we're not gonna open up a separate account,
No, we can do
so
it.
designated accounting sub-account maintained separately from the town's general operating funds.
You gotta say that again for me, please.
Basically-
Maintain designated,
Okay, so this is A, and so we've got deposited into a designated, take out account and the word or, so so it would read designated accounting sub-account,
designated account.
which basically means it's a new line item.
Okay.
Quick,
Sub-account.
maintained separately from the town's general operating funds. We just have to make sure we have a very clear way of separating that these are, this is the fund and this is general fund.
Separately from general fund.
I'm gonna send what I have for exhibit A, B, and C. They probably still need some work. So maybe we wanna take those off and work on them, but I'll send what I've got, but it's the beginning. I just ran out of time.
See how you do what you do in the time you got.
I don't know either. There's sometimes I count the hours in the day and I wonder, where, how can I get some more? How can I get some
Talk
more?
about 30-hour days, right?
Right.
It's time change things like.
Okay, so we got the additions.
And we really gonna have to be careful how we word, Robert, give $100,000 and how we word
Oh, please.
what he wants
Yeah,
to.
you're waiting for me to give you $100,000.
Well, you know,
Hey,
we really
well,
need to be
you said it,
careful
not
how we
me.
word that. Yeah, you know, how they get disclosed and what they can do and cannot do, because,
Yeah, we need to put some guardrails on this.
yeah, I want the
Tiers and these naming
auditors to
conventions.
glance at this before we approve it. I tell you.
Because right now it's explicitly section 3, part D, the town shall not accept contributions that are conditioned upon recognition, naming rights, or preferences that would be inconsistent with the town's obligations. We can't be accepting donations contingent on naming rooms, naming ballrooms, whatever,
So that part,
that we can't provide.
what area was that in?
That was under
Section 3,
that's
gift
pretty basic.
acceptance,
Okay.
part D.
B?
D.
So-
That needs to be
D like
reworked.
D.
Yeah, D. So the new language that I'm gonna send over would basically, we could take this part out and it's a more elaborate process for what a naming process would look like, which would basically be that you guys would need to establish a policy that had very clear lines about what people were getting for whatever. Let me see here. Let me send these documents to Miss.
Can I just, talk about this process in general? I've been seeing crop up time and again, as themes for this. The town needs to be very slow moving, very deliberate, measure 3 times, cut once kind of attitudes. As a municipal government, there are guardrails that are put into place to protect us, to protect everybody from, risk, to protect us from making investments we can't afford. And there needs to be some recognition. I know that the owner seems very motivated to sell, but we can't be very motivated to buy. We've got to live in a reality where it might take us a year or 2 years to just set up the dominoes and do the analysis, get the money together, do all of the legal requirements very methodically, 1 step at a time, and it might fail at any point up into that 1-2 year period. And that's something the committee's gonna have to look in the mirror and decide if they can live with that or not. Like, there's no guarantees in this world. It's gonna be a ton of work to raise money to get this going. And it's gonna be one of those things where until you have success, people are gonna be very gun shy about doing stuff for you. And then it'll snowball, but you're gonna have little successes at a time. And people can really fundraise for a year before we even have the money put together to do a proper analysis. And then they gotta know that analysis, there are worlds where that comes back and it says, this building has no business value. We cannot accept it at any rate. In fact, they would have to give us this building with a giant pile of cash to be able to fund a proper business out of it. And obviously, nobody's going to do that. And that is a reality we can get to. And if the people on the committee aren't willing to invest a year or a year and a half just to see it all go up in flames in front of themselves, well, that can happen. Right? Like, there's no way to incorporate this that is going to make business sense if it doesn't. And that's kind of where we gotta be. We gotta say, we know you're motivated,
Right.
but we can't match that energy. You can't,
Yeah.
be at a finish line in 3 months, or 4 months, or 6 months. It's just not what we can do.
Yeah, I don't think that property's going anywhere. The seller may be motivated, but and if it happens the other way, then it does, but I don't, you're exactly spot on about it.
The other thing is, I think the town cannot do this by itself, and I don't think we can do it even just with fundraising. There's gotta be some private entity that is partnered with us and I mean like a major private entity. So the presentations that are scheduled for Monday, I think will also give us a better idea about how something like this can work. You know, because we're gonna hear from developers who, have done projects like this. And then we can find out, you know, timing, you know, there's a lot of information. We are in a spot where there are other places that they already at least know the foundational process for doing a public-private partnership. We're not even there, we're at like training wheels, like, hey, what is a public-private partnership? What are the different types? What are the requirements? What would fit with us? Who do we even reach out to? How do we even draft an RFP at this point? The reason why we can't probably draw one is because we don't have enough information. That's what I'm hoping to get from the developers that come talk to us, is enough information that if we wanted to put out an RFP and say, hey, is someone interested in partnering with us, what would that RFP even need to say? So I think that's where a lot of this is, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen from something like that.
Yeah, but we also have to be careful that we don't partner with anyone who's unsavory too. Because there are people that may come into this with some kind of an ulterior motive.
Oh, yeah.
That may not be clean and honest, so that we don't, just because someone asks us to the dance, doesn't mean that we should go with them.
Is this gonna be at 6 or 6:30, Lydia?
I think it's starting at 4.
It's starting at 4, I will get there.
I heard 6:15 last meeting or something.
Yeah, and no angel investors, none of that, you know, it's gotta be, identified who it is that is looking to talk to us. Yeah.
Meetings on Monday? With the investors?
Anytime.
Well, it's a developer, they set up a developers meeting to have several groups come and talk about.
Oh, it's not, there's no meetings for that.
It's just
It's
a
4
more
o'clock.
informational meeting by developers to talk to us about
What they offer.
when they offer, how can they go, you know, are we jumping out the window too fast?
Was that supposed to have that letter right in?
What then?
One of them wanted the letter,
They were interested in having something like that, but I don't know if that's,
I know his, I'm supposed to have gotten that. I think he's supposed to had that done. I don't know if he said last week or this week he would have it done. I hadn't spoken to him this week, I spoke to him last week. But even so, you have the Secretary of State who's very supportive, as well as, the President of Visit Florida.org.
so we are, scheduled to start at, 4 p.m. on Monday at Texas.
So are we
That
tonight
meeting's at 4?
voting to allow Nikki to present this to the committee, or are we voting to pass it?
For the resolution?
Yeah.
Well, the resolution would be for the town council. This is for you guys.
Well, do we wanna give the committee a chance to talk amongst themselves before we just foist this upon them?
I would that's what I would think, and let them talk among themselves before we do this.
Did you change the article of incorporation?
No, that's not the articles, and that's
Yeah, but
for,
there's
these are for the
no-
additions
okay.
to the
Oh, yeah.
resolution.
You know, call me crazy and speaking out of, I guess, maybe out of turn, I hope not, but I feel that we're wasting a whole lot of time and effort on something that's never gonna go anywhere for the town. Where I think we should be doing many other projects that are more beneficial for the town. And we're wasting time on something that's, I don't see it amounting to anything. I mean, I think it's a great idea to have the Telford open, but I don't think the town should be involved with it.
Yeah, let somebody else take it on.
And we should be working on getting the old Mayor's Park rejuvenated next to the laundromat. There's so many other projects in town that we should be working on and spending our time and money on. And then the Telford Hotel. The Telford Hotel will never ever, and I've talked to, I wish I could've got her to come today, and maybe Monday I will. She's a business planner, and she said the only way that place would become marketable to make any kind of money, even breaking even, would be if the owners own that building outright. In order to, you guys, I don't know, the town, I don't know everybody's background on the town council, but I'm in the food and beverage industry, and you have to turn a lot of numbers to make any kind of money pay for that. You'll be, the town, I just don't wanna see the town sink money into.
That's just it, the town is not sinking money into anything. The only thing that we're requiring from the town is insurance and utilization of the staff is what we needed.
That's still, that's money.
Okay, but it's money for an acquisition that would be beneficial to them. Now, I don't know who you spoke with, but I've spoken to several people, business people, and they have a different outlook and what could happen and what the possibilities of that particular property can do and what it will mean
Numbers
for
are
this
numbers.
town. I mean,
How
really and
many-
truly,
Just realistically, how many rooms are in there?
rooms for rent would be 22.
Okay, times that by say $500 a night, 30 nights, how much does that bring you? And you still have to pay for housekeeping, insurance, electricity, water.
And how many nights are those gonna be booked? You know, how much occupancy would you actually realistically have?
See, you missed the first couple of meetings, but we have a couple of businesses in this area who, if we acquire the Telford, they are interested in leasing rooms for their interns. So y'all missed the whole big
What would
part in the
Will they
beginning.
pay
Can I finish,
$500?
please?
Will they pay $500?
Can I finish, and then you can comment? There are two different businesses that have been inquiring about it since they've heard about it.
Sure.
I've had contact from a lot of people about the Telford, businesses, corporations, and if this does happen, if we do acquire it, they are talking long-term leases for renting rooms for their interns for two different corporations in this area. Y'all, I mean, everybody has their opinion, and I welcome the opinion. I welcome the opinion. But then at the same time, I hear other people who are wanting this to go forward and not so much negativity. You're not offering anything positive. Everything y'all are saying has been negative. You haven't said anything really positive about what can happen, the possibilities. It's always
Well,
But that's your opinion. I mean, you have your opinion, I have mine. I've been here 57 years. I know what the Telford can do. I know why the Telford is closed. And I know how it was during the days it was thriving. I know for a fact there are people who go by the Telford now who are commenting on different pages dealing with the Telford, wishing it was open so they can come back to the Telford.
I bet they wish the bathhouse was open too, you know? There's
But it doesn't matter, George. It's people, visitors who have some type of connection to it. It's not only going to be a hotel.
Well,
It is going to be an event space, a restaurant, and a museum.
Well,
Where is there a museum here in White Springs?
Well, Nutrien paid
Where
$500
is there? I haven't even talked to Nutrien,
Or what, okay, but the
but
corporations-
Nutrien they do have grants that they can contribute to this because it will be a community.
These corporate places wouldn't pay the rent, the price that you need to make the numbers work.
But you don't know that, George, you're only
I-
going by your assumptions.
So I have 10 years
That's
in
your
corporate America.
assumption, because you don't
I'm
know
a
what
product of
other
the
people
University
have
of
been
Washington
talking
Millburn
about.
School of Business. I've worked for Coca-Cola as a market development manager for Alaska Airlines.
So,
You know, I've gone down
I
this
got a
road.
cousin who works for Coca-Cola now in top management,
Yeah,
and they're interested in contributing to the Telford, because this is his hometown and this is the project that he's interested in.
but I would never have taken them on as a customer. So I went out and I recruited new businesses, I developed those businesses.
Okay.
I said no to a lot of businesses. I
So,
would say no to that
what you're
project.
saying is that a place like the Adams House, who's getting ready to open back up into a bed and breakfast, they can make it
Mhm.
with the staffing and whatever. Judith McClure can make it with her bed and
I wouldn't
breakfast,
put a fountain in there. I
but
wouldn't
the
install a fountain in there.
Telford will not, because why?
Because I don't see the numbers working for the amount of investment that I would make in a restaurant, which is what I went out and did.
How many restaurants in White Springs?
It doesn't matter. The
It
point-
does matter.
It really
Answer the
does.
question, how many restaurants are here?
How many people will
How
come
many
through there?
restaurants are here? When the Telford was open and had a restaurant, you wasn't living here then, so I'll excuse that one. But when the Telford was open and it was a restaurant, correct me if I'm wrong, Tanya, wasn't it always busy? I mean, honestly, wasn't it always packed and busy?
Yeah.
We have no restaurants here. The only restaurant here is Fat Belly. White Springs needs something different. If nothing but the restaurant, the tours, the different businesses who are looking for, it is a way to make it. Ain't nobody saying this is gonna create $1 million a year.
When
But
the
if it's
Telford
not
was
costing
open,
you anything
The
to at
world
least
changed.
try and to do it, why so much negativity
This,
about it?
this was not present when the Telford was open. These smartphones, the ability
Yes, it
to,
was.
the ability to order, the DoorDash, the movement that people, how long ago was it open? When did it close?
10 years ago.
10 years
well,
ago.
12 years
You
ago.
did, you
It's
did
been
not have
closed
this
12
kind of
years ago.
technology.
12 years ago, they were doing deliveries, they just wasn't doing
Yeah,
it
but
in
we
White
didn't
Springs.
have like this, the world has changed so much, and I get the
Exactly.
nostalgia part.
So
I had a marketing
therefore-
professor who made his living on nostalgia.
You're,
Yeah.
okay, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna put it like
I
this.
wanna-
I have my ideas, I have the people that I've spoken with that are supporting this initiative. And if
Then
it
form
goes
a
through,
separate
fine,
thing.
if it doesn't, then it won't be because we didn't try. But I'm just not gonna feed into the negativity about it until I
I'm
see
not-
that it
I'm
won't
not
work
meaning to
any
be-
other way.
I'm not meaning to be negative, I'd love to see the Telford open.
What y'all are saying that it's not
No,
gonna work,
I'd
nobody's
love
gonna
to-
come for this, nobody's gonna come for that, when 12 years ago, they were coming for that.
So
I'd
For
love
whatever
to see
reason, it was closed.
Black Bay has not been able to succeed in this town. You want
I'm not
another
the
restaurant?
Black Bay owner, so I
No,
can't, we
but
don't operate
they
the
got a
same.
great location. They got a great location. They've had some great product there.
Did you ask Mr. Ivan why he's not open?
But it
It's
wasn't able
not,
to make
it's
it.
not because people didn't come. It was not because people didn't come. He had lines and sold out every weekend that he was open. He just chose to close for whatever reason, his personal reasons were. So you cannot compare the two because that's like comparing apples and oranges. It is not the same. It doesn't even fit into the same category. So, and when he was open, he made money. At one point in time, White Springs had 3 restaurants here. You had Swanee River Diner, who stayed full. You had the Country Cafe, which is where Fat Belly's is now, that was full. And then down on the other end of town, off of, what is that, Sunrise? Wait, Miss Kathy moved that after she originally sold. 3 different restaurants, every last one of them stayed full.
And why aren't they open now?
One owner sold out they sold out to somebody else, and the same people, the Stormans, had Swanee River Diner, and they brought Fat Belly. They closed Swanee River Diner to operate Fat Belly, when in reality, they probably would have done better if they kept both open, because they served 2 different types of food. The 2 different types of food that they sold, one is the main one that people really want to get. Home cooked food, home cooking food, but they opted out to do, and that was their personal decision. They wanted to do it that way. But now they're getting ready to open it back up to event space and do catering. What they thought was gonna be such a great, did not work as well as what they had to begin with.
Well, if it's a great, if it's a good.
And then the other one, the owner died and then the wife died, so
Yeah.
I don't think dead people can run a business. Not in this
If you
life.
believe so strongly, this can stand on its own. It doesn't need the town's involvement at all. If I was just say a private investor and I'm looking at the Telford personally as a great opportunity, then I'd be beating down the doors of that place. You know?
But it goes further if you have the town supporting and backing in a part of the initiative. I've done my research.
It's not needed for this. It really isn't.
I didn't say it was needed. I said it's wanted and warranted.
Mhm.
We want it to be. I didn't say we needed it. We want it to be.
Well, I would like a lot of
So,
things,
I
but
mean,
there's the, you know, if it's a
listen.
good business idea, then get real
Hey,
business going
This
on
is
it.
what,
You know?
all right.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah, she had a hand up.
Oh, go ahead, Adrian.
It's my impression from listening to all this discussion that the current owner of the hotel is anxious to get rid of it. Yes, no, maybe?
He's not that anxious because he has other people who are also interested in it. What he did not want is for it to go to a private person, so it would no longer be accessible to the public. He would rather for the town to have it so it will remain public because of the treasure that it is and the treasure that it holds. If a private person gets it, they can do anything to it, tear it down, change whatever they want to change in it. They can tear it, they don't have to keep it there, and they don't have to make it accessible to the public, which would be a shame, just like with South Hamilton. That was another treasure we had here that went to a private owner, and now nobody in the community can access what could be a great asset to the community.
Best way to sell something is tell everybody else that everybody else wants it, and you're thinking like, holy cow,
No,
I
I
got
know personally people who wants to buy it. I spoke with a lady the other day, her daughter was interested in buying it, and now her daughter is interested in sitting with us to help us acquire it with a partnership. So,
That would be great, and then,
I
then
mean-
the city,
There you go.
the
Yeah.
city doesn't have to do nothing with it.
Mhm.
I wish everything for the Telford, I've heard stories since I moved here, I'd love to see it open. I just don't think the city should not get involved with it. There's other projects that we should be working on versus the Telford Hotel, which is not gonna be beneficial.
but see, that's why the committee is going to be the one working on it, but it'd be an asset for the town.
It's not an
We have-
asset, it's a liability.
It
for
would
the
be an
town.
asset.
Mm.
Anything is a liability. This building is a liability. The community center, the
Yeah,
pavilion,
but we need
old cars,
this.
any build, the park, any property that this town owns is a liability because anybody can get hurt on any part of it
No, it's a
at any
financial
time.
liability just in its existence.
If they sue you, I walk up to the pavilion and fall down and break my leg or something right now, it is still going to be a liability for the town because
It's like
I'm
buying an
hurt on
old
that
Jaguar.
property.
We were talking about cars a minute ago. The old Jaguars, a lot of them 12 cylinders, they were the most unreliable thing out there, but they were cool. And there was a lot of nostalgia, and it was almost like, if you could afford a Jaguar, you're rich because no one else can afford to drive that broken beast. And so, this is the thing, you know, I would never own a Jaguar unless I wanted to have it sit in a room to look at it and wipe the dust off it. That hotel is a liability in terms of not being reliable. It's a
you
money
can't say
thing.
that. You haven't been here enough to know how the Telford was, what it was like. Have you been in there? Have you been in?
Haven't been able to.
Yes or no? Have you been in the Telford?
Great question that you already know the answer to, and the answer to that is
No,
no.
I need you to
But-
say it now, publicly. Have you
Yeah.
been in the Telford?
I have not been in the
Okay,
Telford.
you cannot make an informed decision for something you don't have information on.
So
Because
let's,
the
let me have a
rumors,
tour.
let's go back to
Yeah.
these rumors in
Yeah.
White Springs.
Yeah.
The rumors say, what, Gretchen, they started out with it's gonna be $2 million and now it's up to 21 million?
Yeah, 21 million.
21 million?
Is that not what these local business people have been saying to deter us from trying to move forward? Do you see that type of damage?
I bought 15 feet of wire today. It was $69 for 12
Gretchen,
feet of
have you
wire.
seen that type of damage,
15
or
feet.
was it not as bad as everybody was saying it was?
21 million would be a tear down and rebuild completely.
Yeah.
Brand new.
But it's not, there's not that much, I mean, there's damage, but there's not.
And everything he's been doing in there recently he has almost completely done. He has 6 more weeks of work to do there.
And would
Until
you say
it
that's
can be
preservation work?
open and operational.
Mhm.
Question, does the river flood it?
Is what?
Does the river flood it?
The river doesn't come up that high. It's not even in a flood zone, so if the river flooded, everything on River Street would be flooded also, and that's not the case.
River flooded there, half the state.
Yeah, it's pretty big ground.
The whole town
The
was.
spring house floods and that's.
The spring house is down low, this is up high.
Okay, it was a question.
No, I'm just saying, nothing on that
It's on,
street.
it's on the higher land.
It's much higher, like there's a huge, if you
Yeah.
go over the
20
bridge
feet
before
above the
the,
highest
and you
point
look,
in the park.
it's, you'll see the big drop, it's way up there, if you look to the right, the spring house is,
There's
yeah,
been
right
the
at the
same
river.
level as like the visitor center,
Okay.
the hardware store.
And all of the houses is back on River.
Well, I've been here when the river's been 20 foot over flood.
It's still, where this is at, it's,
You ain't
there's
been
houses
to
back
the
there,
river
if you go
flood.
up, if you go to the bridge,
When you
Going
stuck
toward,
in White Springs, and you had to go all the way up to Fargo, Georgia area to
out
get
on
out of
I-10
town.
or
Y'all ain't
I-75
been here
and
for the
look,
flood yet.
the drop is
Well,
right
you
there,
can go with
it's
neither
more than
bridge.
25 feet.
I can't listen to both of you at the
You
same
know
time,
it.
I'm
You
sorry.
remember them days. You couldn't go out of White Springs neither way, both bridges flooded, couldn't go. Couldn't go to Lake City, couldn't go to Live Oak.
Let's go home.
I tell you, we'll beat this thing to death tonight, and we are, no further where we walk in the door, I don't think. Let's advertise the meeting Monday as much as we can get it out.
But that's not what that meeting Monday is not,
Yeah,
it's for the
we-
developers, right?
Yeah, we need as many people to learn as much about this as we can.
We'll get that business plan on the website too, we can take a look at that, that'd be helpful as well.
Yeah.
Well, Monday we have our meeting anyway, so we'll be able to make a decision of what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do
Mr.
it.
Gardner, where's the meeting on Monday? Here?
It'll be here.
Here for?
4 o'clock here.
Yes, sir,
Get
thank
that,
you.
notice it out tomorrow, and as much as we can do. I mean, we may have standing room only, but if contractors, people who understand what we got to walk up and face it.
We meet with.
We can talk about it, I don't think anybody really understands
But then,
everything has to be done
the Q&A.
even start it.
What they can say, what they can do, what they would like to do. Is that, that's the whole point of it.
We have
because
presented
people are-
them with, the format, we've given them, their questions, everybody has the same questions. We've told them how we want their presentation to go. I can go over that real quick. Let's see here.
That will alleviate a lot of rumors if you get some builders and contractors in here. Says, you can do this, you can't do that, if you got $1 million, you can do this, you got $5 million, you can do that. I mean, we need to hear something from somebody, because none of us in y'all think we'll build a hotel.
Not plus it's
Well,
a
the engineer
historic
already
structure,
did
so
Yeah,
there's
but,
very specific rules about
The
historic.
appraiser will be coming through in the next couple of weeks.
There's actually not. I had my houses on the
I got an
registry
email from
and I
her
could
last
tear it
week.
down tomorrow if I wanted to. It's, whatever historic designation we have in the town would be what we would have to follow. And I don't think our charter specifies what type of historic designations. But there's no protections being on the national registry. They're tearing houses that are on the national registry down all the time, other buildings. So it just would be whatever the town decided.
Can we drop this conversation? There is no world where tearing down the Telford to reclaim an acre of land in
Oh, no,
West
no, no.
Springs.
Yeah, but but the protection, there's not a lot of protections offered. But a lot of people are under the impression that if your house is on the, or a building's on the national registry, that it is protected from being torn down, or if there's specifications that you have to follow to repair it, and there's actually nothing, there's nothing on there that requires that.
I think it's local, cause my
Yeah.
uncle.
Yeah, but so it's also our local, but what local protections do we have for,
It's changed
In our
after
charter.
25 years.
Yeah.
25 years ago, you had problems.
Yeah.
And things have changed with society.
oh, and
What's going
well,
on, and
I just
They
want
say
to.
those twice, they
They're
don't
not-
tear down anything.
No, we're not talking about tearing it down, but like, there's, unless the local protections and we require that it be rebuilt to specific standards, that would be something that also the council would have to designate, what we, how does that wanna do, how do we wanna do that if it doesn't already exist in the charter?
So,
So
4
the,
o'clock Monday.
yeah, and the presentation will go, we've asked them to present one comparable project, small town, rural, or historic redevelopment, the deal structure used in plain terms, the role of the public entity, key funding sources, and one key lesson learned. And then they each have these 10 questions about experience and fit, P3 model structure, funding source, risk allocation, the municipal participation, feasibility considerations, timeline and phasing, community integration, key success factors, and deal breakers. And then short Q&A.
And P3 is public-private partnership.
And these are contractors that are.
These are developers.
Are developers who are gonna come in and they're gonna pitch why they should take this project on?
I don't know if they're pitching because we're not actually picking people.
Right.
This is more for an informational
Okay, right,
purpose.
yeah. Do you know how many we have? Do we know?
So we have 2 that are definite. There was another one that can't do Monday, so we probably have to do them at a different time, but there are 2 scheduled for Monday.
Okay. That'd be good.
Get the word out, big.
4 o'clock,
4 o'clock.
Let's bust the room open.
Monday.
be there, be square.
All right.
Can we go home now?
Yes.